Hello and welcome to Rough Cut with Kaveree Bamzai. This week is Welcome to the Jungle Week, and we're supposed to, yes, I know, leave our brains at home and enjoy the movie. I have never quite understood this whole idea of leaving your brains at home. Why would you want to leave your brains at home when you go to see a movie? You want to engage with a movie with your brains and your heart and, well, everything else in your possession. So why would you do that? But we're told that, this is Bollywood comedy and there's lots of stars and lots of gags, and, it's all right. You can occasionally just leave your brains at home. This really irritates me. And this Welcome to the Jungle is designed to make you feel like that. Everything conspires to make you believe that this is one of those films which is hilarious, it has great gags, and it has wonderful lines. It doesn't. The writing is lazy, the acting is even worse, and it really is like a group of people having got together, having a party in the middle of what looks like a jungle but is probably a set in a film city. I can't even begin to tell you what the story is. The story is really a ripoff of Tropic Thunder, but with none of that satire and none of that bite. Akshay is the star who's a flop star. He hasn't had a hit in 5 years, which is supposed to be a meta fact, and we're supposed to be so grateful that a star like him is taking pot shots at himself. But the pot shots only go so far and no further. There is the idea that he's a flop star. He's now working in Bhojpuri films and wearing a wig and a beard and doing songs called Kiss Kiss and Kiss Kiss, and I can't even begin to tell you what the lyrics are. You've probably seen them on YouTube enough times. And he then is engaged by this financier who wants to avoid an ED and IT raid and wants to find some way of losing money. And what is a better way to lose money than to make a huge Bollywood spectacle? So that's the premise of the film. So far, okay. Then, of course, we have a whole contingent of actors, some who are from the Kapil Sharma show, some like Jacqueline and Fernandez and Disha Patani, who are there only, of course, because they're so beautiful and dress appropriately for a film like this, you know what I mean. And there is the ubiquitous Johnny Lever trying very, very hard to inject some humor into the proceedings. And we have the usual meta references. There's Raveena Tandon who comes in at some point. She belongs to this village which is supposed to be the fake village in this fake movie. Don't even go there. And talks about how she meets Akshay. She has met Akshay after 20 years, and where was he for so long? And of course you know that it's a reference to their relationship in the past. So there are lots of little meta references here and there, which I suppose one finds somewhat funny, but only so far. Really, it cannot go beyond that. It does not. I mean, we have Arshad, Warsi and Suniel Shetty, who are supposed to be the new Anil Kapoor and Nana Patekar, but they're not even a patch on them. I mean, whatever you say about the first two welcomes, they were rather funny, and you laughed at them in spite of yourself. Here you don't know what to do, because after a certain point, it's just such a mess, and all the little references to Tropic Thunder and Akshay Kumar's career and relationships, and references to Dhurandhar and a village where everyone speaks a language that nobody can understand, which is supposed to be a mix of Pashtun and Kashmiri and whatnot. I mean, Kashmir has, of course, been the subject of so much terror and tragedy in the last few years. So I suppose a little comedy doesn't hurt, but it does hurt actually. It's so ridiculously painful to see all these people uttering nonsense, which is supposed to be some version of Kashmiri, who knows. Bollywood, of course, has no regard for anything like truth or reality or even authenticity. So of course there's a huge blow up at the end, and there is, for the price of one, another Akshay Kumar. He's beginning to do this in all the films that he does. We saw him doing this in an earlier film as well, where you had 3 Akshay Kumars for the price of one. Here you have 2 Akshay Kumars for the price of one. I suppose it'll be a spoiler alert to tell you who the second Akshay Kumar is. And what else can I say? It has appearances of people from the Mahabharata. Suddenly, then it has, I know I'm laughing, but it's not because it's funny, it's just so absurd. And then suddenly you have Johnny Lever starting to speak, then not speaking. I mean, Arshad, Warsi and Suniel Shetty, 2 dons who think that they're acting in this huge movie. It just goes on like that. I would certainly not recommend this movie to you. And I do not subscribe to the leave your brains at home argument. So please, even if when you go to a movie hall, please take your brains with you and your heart and everything else, and keep an open heart and open mind. But this is not worthy of a visit to the theatres. If you're staying at home, there's a movie that I recommend, especially if you, like me, are a rom-com fan. There's this lovely little movie on Netflix called Voice Notes for Isabel, which is a sort of mix of You've Got Mail and I guess a bit of Fault in Our Stars as well. And it's one of those very sweet films, but also there's an element of tragedy there. So you really feel for the 2 characters when they come together at the end. There is, of course, a meet cute and a meet fake, and then a split, and then sort of a reunion at the end of the movie. It is, after all, a rom-com. It has to end happily. But it's a lovely little film. Nick Robinson and Zoe Deutsch, who are very cute in the film. It's worthy of your time, and if it takes you down a rabbit hole of watching rom-coms from the past, it's not such a bad thing. It sent me off into a rabbit hole, actually, and I started watching all my favorite rom-coms from the past, which took me back to 1940, starting with the Philadelphia Story and ending with Sabrina, and then going back into the Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan era. So, but it's worth it. So that's me for the week. Please avoid Welcome to the Jungle. Stay at home, stay safe, stay cool, hydrated, and watch this lovely film, Voicemails for Isabel. See you next week.